Well, hello, everybody. Captain Bill, Yacht Operations Unlimited, welcoming you back. We're going to do a little bit more of our boat handling the other way. We're going to start out here with boat handling 201. We did 101, which was basically single engine screw inboard boat. I'm contemplating if I want to get into the differences of the outboard versus the inboard outboard. But anyhow, we're going to get into twin engine boats inboard, not outboard, and we're going to show some differences here. I see all the videos of the captains up there handling the boat with the people and seeing, they tell them what to do, how to do it, etc. I want to go a little different, go back to the toy boat situation and explain why what is happening. Every boat reacts differently. There's the time delays, the length, the horsepowers, all kinds of stuff, windage, current, and every boat reacts differently. That's the hardest thing about a delivery captain or a captain that goes from boat to boat to boat. He has to assess how the boat handling capabilities are in milliseconds. First, they'll get on the boat, and the good one will absolutely test everything. Make sure the steering works, make sure the engines go in and out of gear at possibly all steering stations. That way they're not surprised. And you got to get a feel of how they react. You got to test your bow thrusters, your stern thrusters if you have them, etc. Anyhow, I'm going to get into some simple characteristics on how and why things happen on a twin engine screw. Okay, let's get to the whiteboard over here. Here's our twin engine boat. It's the single engine boat with two little things sticking out of it. This is going to represent the rudders, both rudders. They'll work together in the steering. And this is going to represent our gear shifters. And we're going to consider them, forward, both reverse, or split. Okay. And we're going to talk about this a little bit. When we had the single engine boat, you're turning a wheel to starboard, you put it in forward, the boat goes like this. It pivots, okay, usually off of a center point, okay, and moves forward at the same time. It's not a single motion. It's not going to sit there and pivot. It's not going to just go forward. Okay, it's going to go forward and rotate. So you have to take this into consideration. Now with the twin engine boat, the same thing will happen. If we kick both of those engines in forward with the rudder turn, she's going to do the same thing. And we have some differences here. Okay, if we were to just kick the inside engine in forward, okay, it will react the same way. Okay. If we do just the starboard or the port engine in forward, she'll do the same thing. Okay. If we split them, okay, it's going to do it, but it's going to do it a lot faster. It'll almost pivot right on their center point. The reasoning for this is the port engine is going to be running water across the prop and going to be doing this. The starboard engine is going to be going astern, and the INSO, she's going to be running water this way. And if you think about it, this will push the boat that way, and this will also push the boat that way. And with the two of them in together, will make that boat spin on a dime. If you do not turn the rudder, just a second, I'll pause, get my eraser. Can't find my eraser. Well, anyhow, if you don't turn the rudder, we're going to get rid of this movement here. Okay. And it's not going to be pushing off the rudder. It's going to be pushing off this side of the boat, which will have the same effect. It will make the boat spin, but it's not going to be as drastic. Okay. It's going to rotate. Now, a lot of people, I hear them saying when you're going into a marina and you got a twin engine boat, to leave your rudder straight. and maneuver like that. And this is fantastic. This is good because you're not adding the complication of the wheel. You're just dealing with the shifters, and it's very simple to do. Okay. You just simply think about it. You push on this one, you push on this one, and how the boat reacts. Okay. But in a very tight situation, high winds or something, pushing your boat, you turn that rudder and split the shifters, she'll react a lot quicker. Now, that being said, this is how we make the boat pivot, right? What if I were to shift these in the opposite direction now? What do you think happens? This gets interesting. You got the water going forward off the rudders, pushing the boat this way. Sorry, wrong side. This one's in forward, pushing the water this way. That has a tendency to bring the boat like this, correct? But now we put this one in reverse, and that's going to push the water this way on this side of the boat. What's that have a tendency to do? It has a tendency to bring the boat like this. Now we have both these fighting each other, you want to call it, but what you end up getting is the boat walking sideways. As the stern is being pushed forward by the starboard engine, the port engine is pulling the bow back. So she's going forward and back, and she walks this way. Now, it's not perfect. Boats react with the forward engine quicker than the stern engine. So you might end up seeing more of a like this motion. And if that happens, you'll throttle up on the reverse to bring the bow back over. Or you might pop the forward out of gear. But that is essential how you get the boat to walk sideways. If you think about it, you're turning to starboard, she'll pivot. You swap them, she's going to walk to port. Not totally confused everybody, all right? Right? Let's try it the other way. We want to turn our boat to port. We could just kick them both in forward. She'll go to port. We could kick just the starboard and forward. She'll go to port. We swap them. Oops, this way. We swap them. She's going to pivot right on a dime. Just like that. Wheels turn to port. Starboard engine's forward. Port engine's reverse. She's going to go right around. We want to walk sideways. Swip them. Wheels turn to starboard. Okay. Forward engine is pushing the back end to starboard. Reverse engine is pulling the bow to port or to starboard. The boat walks to starboard. She's turned to port, but she walks to starboard. Okay. How'd that confuse everybody? All right, let me come back to my screen. That's an awful lot. You could take a lot of time on this. When you get your boat, you sit there and you practice this in good, calm weather, no current, no wind, and you'll see how it reacts. You need to do it with something nearby, a mooring ball, a dock, so you can see how it reacts. Okay. You got to have something in the water to see you're moving, you're maneuvering.